Well, good evening once again. This is Ty Best here on a Saturday night, October 23rd. Yesterday was my baby brother's birthday, and today is his wife's birthday. So, happy birthday to Reginald and Nikki Nicole Best. That's my baby brother and sister-in-law, born one day apart. So, happy birthday. I want to welcome Mr. Mike Johnson, Miss Tiffany Sutton. Guys, I love doing live streams when I know only the hardcore is up paying attention. Good evening, Mr. Roosevelt Jenkins, himself, Miss Renee Gant, Miss Tiffany Sutton, Miss Valerie Webb. Good evening to you guys. Mr. Michael L. Dalco is in the house. Linda Keller, how you doing, home girl? I heard you this morning on the power call. Okay. Mr. Richard Shoto, good evening, my brother. Hope you're doing well. Miss Sharon Clark, Mr. Reen Childs, Miss Pamela Dixon, Mr. Rufus Moore. Good evening, Rufus. Hey, big man, Mr. Young, how you doing there, sir? Bitcoin Lou in the house. Rose Hitton, good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Just talking, but don't give them folks a minute to join us, Margaret Seed. I had this thing been going around in my head all day, and really for the last couple of days called, I want to call this the power is the seed. The power is the seed. S-E-E-D is the seed. I'm going to talk about that in a minute because this whole thought been going around in my head. Good evening, Mr. Nate Hines. Good evening to you, Mr. Nate, Mr. Jack Tissy himself. Hey, my brother Kevin Millender, Glenn Perkins, man. God almighty. I'm going to tell you, every time I see Glenn Perkins' name, all I think about is that guy on the baseball team, like a Lou Brock. I know old school people don't know who Lou Brock was, but he's that guy on that baseball team. He bats about 290. He's not on the front of the magazine. He ain't making the all-star team every year after year. He might make it every now and then, but 20 years later, you look up, he got a career batting average of 290. Okay, he done stole 1,000 bases. He done all that stuff. He said, now who is this guy? He said, that was Glenn Perkins, man. He said, he played like 22 seasons in the majors. Did he ever make the All-Star team? He made it once or twice. Okay. But he had a 20-plus year career. And he's going to get nominated to the Hall of Fame after about 3 tries. Because they're going to say, man, nobody had a career like this dude. He like the Energizer Bunny. He ain't running 90 miles an hour down the highway. He just 60 miles an hour, year after 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 year. And when it's all said and done, you go, wow. Okay. Hey, Miss Wanda Pinkley Loft up there in Buffalo. Hey, Miss Tanisha Glaspie, how you doing? Tanisha Glaspie, Frankie Burns. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Ibn Ray Muhammad. There's another one. There's Gail. Look. Okay, Gail Heath, good evening to you. Gail and Royal. I mean, what can I say? Another one, Dana Raines. See, man, look, don't you guys, it's Saturday. You should be at a party. You be watching TV, doing something. Okay, but no, you dream chasers chasing the dream. Okay, and that's why one thing I like to do Saturday, because Saturday is hardcore out there, and I also like to do these because a live stream, because you can also take them. I'm not going to be long. You can also take them and share them with friends and relatives. And I can say things to your friends and relatives that you can't say. So let me go ahead and start. I call this the power is the seed. So first, I said, well, first thing we got to do is what is a seed? So it's just like when I talk about freedom. One thing I learned, I talk about freedom so much. People say, why you talk about freedom so much? Because most people don't know what freedom is. Hey, Miss Cherie Pierce, good evening. Most people don't know what freedom is. They really don't know. Okay, so we come on talking about freedom, and they I think I'm already free. And we have to tell them, no, you're not free. It's and I know I step on toes. And I said, freedom is when you can wake up 5, 6, 7 days a week and do what you want to do. That's freedom. Freedom is not Saturday and Sunday off to watch football, baseball, basketball, and play on the weekends, or you got the night off and sleep. No, that's not freedom. But most people don't know they are enslaved. Like Harriet Tubman says, she said, I could have led more people to freedom if they only knew they were enslaved. Well, it's the same thing. We're here in this networking industry talking about being free, But most people think they're already free. That's why people all the time you talk to them, because they find themselves making 89, 100, maybe even $200,000 a year. They say, I'm good. And they don't know they're good. And I make the statement, I said, look, if your income is based on your ability to perform, you are a financial disaster waiting to happen. It's just a matter of time. And people don't get this, okay? I thank God every day. To God be the glory. I mean it. I humbly mean it. To God be the glory. I thank God every day when I wake up in the morning and I'm free. And I say, I thank God, to God be the glory. Why I, at 28 years old, heard this message, got the message, internalized the message, and believed it. I was just on the phone talking to Eric Teray, and I said, because we was talking about some situations. And I said, look, when I was 20 years old, and I heard the guy on stage said, 95% of the people after working 40 to 45 years will be broke. He said, if you don't believe me, just look around, look at all the folks who already been working 25 to 30 years and ask yourself, do you want their lifestyle? Now, I'm sitting in a room, he said that to like 200, 300 people. Now, I'm sitting there and I started to think. I thought about aunts, uncles, cousins, teachers, anybody I knew that was already 50, 55, 60 years old, and asked myself that I want their lifestyle. And within minutes, my mind calculated emphatically came back, no, not just no, and emphatically H-E-double-L-L, no. I said no. Now, I don't, now, that was theory, because I'm 28 years old, okay? And when you're young, you believe the world is your oyster. So, but I'm 28, but I believe them. They said, now, if you want to live differently than the masses, you better do something different. I believe them, so I went down a different road. Now, 38 years have gone by. Now, I'm not going on theory. I'm going on experience now. Okay? That 95% he talked about, they are my peers. They are my friends. And most of them worked till they were 65 years old. Many of them are still working right now, or either they're dead, they're still working, or they tired, they broke, they busted, and disgusted. And that's the flat out truth. I ain't criticizing. It's just the truth. They on walkers, they in wheelchairs, they've had heart attacks, they've had strokes, some of them still working, and almost all of them are still broke. And that's the truth. Not theory. I've watched this. Every time somebody died, having a GoFundMe, raising money, for GoFundMe, go fund this, go fund that, when they had 40 years to get it together. They said, when we know better, we should do better. And I'm off track for what I want to talk about. But I'm saying this is, I'm not talking to you guys listening, because you guys who are on the call listening, this is for you to send out to your family, friends, and relatives, because they won't get mad at you when you send this out. Deborah Nixon, Daniel Higgins, they'll get mad at me. They'll say, who that guy Ty Bass is telling me I'm broke? Okay? But my definition of broke, if you got to sell your time for money, you broke, because only broke people do that. Wealthy people don't sell their time for money. Now, ain't nothing wrong with being broke. It's something wrong with not fighting to get out of that condition once you know better. You got a multi-billionaire worth $60 billion saying, until you learn how to earn money in your sleep, you're going to work till you die. Warren Buffett said that. I didn't say that. Okay, Warren Buffett said that. Warren Buffett said, definition of broke. What's definition of broke? Is you sell your time for money. Okay, definition of broke is the minute you can't show up for work, you don't have any money, then you broke. You got to put yourself in a position where you got an asset lifestyle, where you got assets generating, covering your lifestyle. Then you're protected to a degree, unless the government do something crazy. But other than that, if you got to go sell your time, you are a financial disaster waiting to happen. And that's the truth. And my frustration, not from this, I'm not frustrated about this business at all. I love this business. I love what we do. But to God be the glory. I thank God every day. At 20 years old, the guy said that, and I believe them. So for you young folks out there, 30 years old, Asha L, Matthew Taylor, you guys believe me. Miss Keisha, just got involved in the business. I want to say young. I got it wrong. Got her last name wrong. And Ayani and all young folks, believe me. Believe what I'm sharing with you. Okay? Statistics, numbers don't lie. And there's a reason for that. The whole system is designed to keep you broke. So it's not your fault. It's your fault once you know better. But the system is designed to keep you broke. The system is designed to put you in bondage at 21, 22 years old and keep you in bondage your entire life. And by the time you figure out what you've done, that 35 or 40 years, you too broke, tired, or broke down to really do anything about it in most cases, or to do much about it. You can fight. Well, anyway, we got a solution. So let me get off that. The power is the seed. Okay? So now, you know what freedom is? Freedom is it's not an option. It is an absolute necessity. And you're going to pay the price today for freedom, or you're going to pay the price for not paying it later. Okay? When you find yourself 60 years old, you ain't going to want to get up and do something 5 days a week. Man, I got to bed today at 5 o'clock. Yeah, I did. Now, I did some stuff while I was in bed. I worked from bed like Tanisha did. I worked from bed. I watched a class in session from bed. And then I called into the huddle from bed. I talked on the huddle. And then I called a power call from bed. I fell asleep on the power call, woke back up on the power call. And then after the power call, I sent out a bunch of texts from bed. I did 3 ways from bed. And then finally at 5 o'clock, I dozed off about 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Then I got up and said, man, let me go do some work. And I've been working since 5 o'clock. I work when I want to work. Lord, I love this business. Okay? And then went in there and closed out 2 more lifetime no's. I said, man, let me close out these 2 no's. That's right. Went in and got me a bunch more XLT, smashed the button about 10, 15 times a day, and then bought me a bunch of XL, closed out 2 no's. 1 more for Alex, 1 more for me. Okay? Okay? I'm planting that seed. Okay, let me get back to my talk so we can get out here in about 10 minutes. Hey, Yvonne Berry. Hey, Kevin Miller. Okay? I'm fired up. That's right. I went to sleep 5:30 this morning. Doggone Renee Gant waking me up at 7 o'clock. I'm talking about you, Renee. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. That's not a criticism, because I got the right to answer the phone and not answer the phone. But I like serious people. She was up. I saw the finally. I said, it's Renee Gant. I said, well, I know she's a serious person. Let me answer the phone. And if it was Billy Bob, I would say I talked to him late in the afternoon. Oh, God, let me stop. Okay, I'm going to have some fun. Okay, let me tell you what I'm talking about. Why? So what is a seed? Watch this. Did you know a seed is a noun and a verb? A seed is one of those words that's a noun and a verb. The noun is that thing you plant to reproduce. A seed was designed, created to be planted to reproduce in its own kind. They said the fruit don't fall from the tree. Okay, you must plant a seed to be multiplied. I made an audio message a long time ago that said plant the seed. Robert Schuller said, first time I ever heard it was what? Anyone can count the seeds in an apple, but only God can count the apples in a seed. The noun, seed noun, was designed to be planted. Okay, but there's also seed as a verb. It's what you do with that seed. That's planting the what? The seed. So you can seed a seed. Woo, boy. I'm preaching this afternoon, this evening. And watch this. The challenge, this is something they should have been teaching us in high school. Now, no matter who you are, we are all born with stuff to be planted. We all have seed within us to be planted. Now, I'm not talking about the physical seed. We know about that. We can reproduce and create each other and all that. Let's talk about some seed that we all have. I'm not talking about your finance. We're going to get to that. I'm going to talk about all the seed. First seed you have is energy. Energy is a seed. What are you doing with your energy? Now, your parents decide what you do with your energy from about 1 to 18 years old. Not quite. You still got some decision there by the time you become a teenager. But let's just say from 1 to 18, let's just say you don't have complete control over that seed, that energy seed. What you do with it. Do you invest it in playing sports? Do you invest in learning an instrument? Do you invest in your education? Or you playing? If you look at some of the folks who achieve a certain amount of success at 18, 19, 20 years old, they'll tell you they were inside practicing that violin and looking out the window as the other kids were on the street playing. You talk to athletes, they were up 5 o'clock in the morning. They were running, lifting weights with their other friends on the street playing. Their other kids out there playing, and they were investing that energy as a young person. People admire Michael Jackson for being a star by the time he was 13, 14 years old, but he'd been investing energy in his craft from the time he was 2 or 3 years old. They look at Beyonce, they admire the fact that she was a superstar by the time she was 18 years old, but she knew what she wanted to do. She was investing that energy seed in her craft when she was 3, 4, 5 years old. She knew she wanted to be a star. That's why people look at professional athletes and they get all gaga. The guy at 22 years old, he just signed a contract for $20 million. And I go, yeah, but you don't understand the investment, the price he paid. He didn't wake up at 19 years old and say, I want to be in the NFL or I want to be in the NBA. Okay, that person been after that thing since he was 8, 9, or 10 years old. Been running around the country playing AAU ball, parents driving all over the country. That's a price to be paid. That's energy, seed energy, being planted in the future. Most of us, most people waste our energy, especially our youth, for energy. In the book Think and Grow Rich, where I'd encourage you all to get a copy of and read it incessantly, read it all the time, Napoleon Hill talks about sexual transmutation. He said most men do not achieve in life till they're 40 plus years old. Why? Because we spend all our youth running around chasing women. All that energy that could be spent and put in a productive place, we spend most of it doing what? At clubs at night, doing around partying, having a good time, and chasing after women. And you find the most productive men settle down early in age, most, not all, always exception, settle down early in age. Why? Because all that energy they spent running around 5 and 6 nights a week in the hunt for a good time, they take that energy and transfer it into their career of some kind. That's that energy. Ask yourself, I'm talking to young folks, what are you doing with your energy? What are you doing? Look, from 22 to 20, I know what I do with mine. I'm going to tell you, I discode. I partied from 22 to 26. I'm saying from 22 to 26. And then at 26, I got bored. After about 3 years apart, I got bored. And I started going to the gym. Val and I started going to the gym. We wasted energy from 22 to 26 because we didn't know. We got out of school and said, what do you do now? Well, you work from 8:35 and you party at night. Well, you young, 22 years old. Man, you got nothing but energy. I can remember literally coming home at 22 saying, what do you do all energy? Party all night. I can remember at 23 years old, party, come home at 6 o'clock, take a shower and go to work. All nothing but energy. And it's wasted. Just don't. I know what to do with it. I didn't have any mentor. I didn't have any counselor. You can take that energy and you can do something productive. What I was doing, what society told me to do, what society was doing. I was following the masses. Doing everybody do that seed energy. I do what everybody else do with that seed energy. I played heavy. I didn't have an entrepreneur mentor said, man, take the energy. I mean, I did my job. But that was my job. And some days I worked 16, 12 hours, 13 hours doing my job. I got promoted on my job. I did the job. But I didn't know how to take that energy, that youthful energy, and apply it to an entrepreneur endeavor. And I didn't know what kind of entrepreneur endeavor to apply it to. And I didn't have the background to start one, and we tried, but that's a long story. I don't want to get too far apart. Then at 26, Val and I said, okay, we need to redirect that energy. We had a lot of ideas. We never got off the ground. But at 26, we directed the energy to lifting weights. And we was going to come mixed pass competition because we understood we'd work. And we lived in the gym from about 26 to 28 years old, 25, 26. We lived in the gym. I'm talking about 3-4 hours a day. We're in the gym. We're in the gym, man. We reading Muscle and Fitness magazine. And we were big fans of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sammy, Ernie Dickerson, Chris Dickerson, all the body. I mean, it was seriously the body. You have no idea, man. I had 28-inch waist, delts up to here, man. Val was 130 pounds, man. We lived in the gym. Okay, we was going to become mixed pass champions. We were going to do it. We trying to figure out how to become stars. We're going to do this thing. And then at 20 years old, somebody introduced us to networking. And I got those stats I just shared with you. We took all that energy that was in the gym and started applying the energy to our business. All that time energy So what are you doing with your time? Time is energy. That's a seed. That's seed. And what are you doing with it? So you got the energy of youth. You got the energy of time. What are you doing with your time? Average person spending 40 hours a week in front of that doggone television. Even right now, today, that's seed time, man. You can be planting that time somewhere else. If you plant time, you're going to get time. You plant energy, you're going to get energy. You plant money, you're going to get money. The power is the seed. You got to know what your seed is. So you say, I don't have any money to plant. But you have time and you have energy. Where networking comes in, all you need is time, energy, and a dream. If you got the dream and you direct the energy, that time, man, the future is your oyster. You can do whatever you want to do. Okay? And then the one I really want to get to is money. That's the verb. Where are you planting that ultimate seed? That's your money. See, nobody ever told us that the money, that the dollar bills, that's seed. That's seed. We hear Mr. Dalco talk about, are you putting your seed to work or are you eating your seed? Most of us, we eat our seed. Okay? I heard Mike Murdoch say 20 years ago, if it's not enough money to take care of you for the rest of your life, then it's just a seed. Some folks that are still whining because they got in some network opportunity. They spend $100 or $300 or $2,000 or $1,500 or whatever. Or they try some business idea and it didn't work because they put $200 over here, $1,500 over here, and they still whining about it 3, 4, 5 years later. Some 10 years later. They whining about it. Whining? No, it was a seed. Okay? If you put $300 in a business or $500 in a business, look, $1,000 in business, that's $1,000 not going to change your life. It was a seed. And I heard they said, man, if it's not enough to change your life and your family's life for generation, then God gave it to you as a seed. What are you doing with that seed? Money, verb, seed. Okay? And most of us, we don't see money as a seed. And that's why we spend our time eating our seed, and 35, 40 years go by and we go, what happened? Because instead of taking that seed and planting that seed in fertile ground, planting that seed in something that will produce more seed, that will produce more seed, that will produce a bigger harvest, we spend most of our time, we do what? We eat the seed. You know, how do we eat the seed? We eat the seed when we go out and we buy stuff we don't need. We eat the seed when we go out and buy stuff to impress our friends. We eat the seed every year when we take a cruise. We're eating our seed that will produce a bigger harvest. But no, they said, but you got to have a good time. Well, eat your seed. Continue to eat the seed. Most people just eat their seed. They say, I don't have any money. I can't invest. And you hear them coming back from a cruise. Okay? They say, I don't have any money. You down they got $400 pair of tennis shoes on. I don't have any money. They got $200 pair of pants on. They got, a $400 purse. Or wait a minute, here's even worse. A fake $100 Louis Vuitton purse. They paid $100 for it. They're eating the seed. That's eating the seed. And that's the truth. We eat the seed. Okay? And then for those of us who don't eat the seed, because as soon as we get somebody to go buy a brand new car, a brand new Cadillac, a brand new Mercedes, a brand new BMW. Why? Because we've been sold on let's have the semblance, let's look successful, not be successful. Bill Gates don't look successful. Warren Buffett don't look successful. But no one would doubt if they knew who they are, they go, oh my God. But if Bill Gates walked into the average person's house, they wouldn't even know who he is. If Warren Buffett walked into the average person's house, if he walked in the store, they wouldn't even know who the man is, the man worth $60, $70 billion. Okay? He don't look successful. He's not surrounded the trappings of success. And most average people been sold to look successful, act successful, pretend to be successful, got $200,000 of cars in the driveway and got to go to work Monday through Friday as a slave to pay for that stuff because they want to look successful. They want the trappings of success. They want to impress their friends. They eating the seeds of success. Sick of that nonsense. Okay? Sharing with you. I ain't mad. I'm just trying to tell you. Stop eating the seed, folks. Soon as you start making some money, some of you right now can't wait to sell the coin. Soon the coin hit $1. Soon the coin hit a penny, 5 cents. You're going to sell all your G999. You're going to eat the seed. As soon as the thing start bearing fruit, you're going to eat the seed. No, you're not going to replant the seed. As soon as some of you start making money, right now, last year, some of you made money. Last year, you couldn't wait to spend the money. Went out and spent the money as quick as you got it. Instead of we won't talk about investing. Instead of exchanging the seed you were earning. So you were earning Bitcoin and Ethereum. That was not necessarily money for you to just go spend, blow on your lifestyle. That was seed money for you to do what? Get more seed. I said, how in the world you get 30, 40 million coins? Because I took the seed that I earned from getting started. I did what? I got more seed. And I planted more seed. So I heard Mr. Dalco say, hey, you know what? You need to be in a position to take advantage of the opportunity when more opportunity come, and you can't do that if you eat all your seed. Going on trips, buying lifestyle, buying clothes. Yeah, I got some stuff. I got some customized shirts and some watches and yeah. But I did that because of the assets, the income generated from the seed. And then, wait a minute. Now, so now I'm talking to that base right there, right now, who can't wait to eat the seed. Now we got some who's smart. They'll start to replant their seed, but now they got to be educated as to where to plant the seed. So they got their little seed, and they planting their 401k, and they think, well, excuse me, first they put it in the bank. We got to get to them and say, you got to get your money out the bank. What else can we say to you? Okay, we do everything we can to tell you. You got your money in the bank. They pay you 0.1% interest on the money, and inflation 3, 4, 5%. You losing. You're losing. So the way they say, but I'm good. No, you're not good. Okay. So we got to help them. You got to you are planting your seed, but it's not in the most fertile ground. It may grow a little something for you, but the tree withers and bears a little fruit. You're not planting it in the best place to get the best return on your seed. It is your seed. You are the caretaker of your seed. You got to make that decision. You say, well, I got my money in my company's 401k. That's the stock market. In case you don't, I don't care what they call it. It's on the market. And all of us have seen what the market would do. The market would crash every 8 to 10 years. And all the banks going to say to you after they take your $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 of seed that has grown, they go, oops, we sorry. 2008 almost wiped out the entire world's economy. And the best they could do was, oops, we sorry. Devastated people, millions lost their home, millions lost their retirement. People been counting that who saved 400, 500,000, $1 million. It's wiped out just like that. And they go, oops, we sorry. Okay. That money is your seed and you're responsible. Don't turn your seed over to some financial planner or to Wall Street or anybody else. I mean it. It's your seed. Don't you eat the seed, and don't let Wall Street eat your seed either. Because they will eat your seed, eat your grandkids' seed, and we sorry. And the government will let them get away with it. After what happened in 2008, none of them went to jail. Okay? Come back later and use Bernie Madoff as a scapegoat for the whole thing. Like he was the one that, how can a guy run $1 billion Ponzi scheme for 40 years and nobody can lose it except for him? Nobody except for him. Entire Wall Street, the guy running a multi-billion-dollar Ponzi scheme, period, for 40 years. For 40 years. Okay, and he the only one go to jail for it? I mean, okay, maybe him and 2 or 3 other people. Come on, you gotta be kidding me. And run it out of a little hut of an office in New Jersey? Come on, man. Wake up, people. We got to take full responsibility for our seed. Stop eating your seed. Now I'm talking to the folks in GS Partners and those who are thinking about it. I don't care what GS Partners has done now. It's put everybody in position to put their seed to work starting at $10 a seed. Because see, every dollar you got is a seed. One of the things I love about what Joseph Haidt is doing as a billionaire, that billionaire mentality is creeping down into everybody on their leadership and wealth builders worldwide, and we're learning, wait a minute. Okay, he's showing us how to turn $1 into 10 and 10 into 100 and 100 into 1,000, how to do it with a smartphone from home. You talking about asset living. Okay. We launched this company December 1 last year, almost 12 months ago. And people have accumulated more net worth than have in the last 11 months. Okay. 10 and a half months has been they have their entire lifetime. Okay, every dollar you put in this program, you are planting your seed, and I believe in one of the best vehicles I've ever seen. No, not one of the best financial vehicle I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'm all in. So I said, what if it don't work? I said, what if it does? I said, I don't want to deal with what if it don't. I'm gonna deal with what if it does. I said, what if it does? Okay, it doesn't really matter. What did I say in the beginning of this talk? That if that money you have, if that $100 you concerned about, think about this. For $49, that's a seed. That's not, why are you worrying about $49? Man, if you're listening to this and you haven't got involved, man, get back with the person who invited you on this call and take the $49 and get you a partnership. That's going to do what? That's a seed. It's going to put you in over 25, 30 countries that had the potential to create residual income for you and your family for generations. It's just a seed. What if that seed don't bear fruit? It was just a seed. Okay? You spend $49 now for 3 going to Chick-fil-A. It's just a seed. But that seed at Chick-fil-A will feed you for the day. But that $49 as a seed, go home and eat raw man noodles, plant that seed over here, and it could feed you for the rest of your life. So the package, $199. Okay, that's less than a pair of tennis shoes, a good pair. Plant that seed here in GS Partners. Okay, you better pay a tennis shoes, need another pair in 3 months. You plant that seed here, it could take care of you, put you in a position to be taking care of you for generations to come. That's what that seed. Okay? Bitcoin was $18,000 a coin. Cryptocurrency, put your seed in crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then the best seed, what? Is take those dollars and accumulate as much G999 as you possibly can, as much real estate XLT as you possibly can. Why? Because it's just a seed. And for $10, you could turn $10 into 100 or $1,000. $100 gonna get you over 1,000 seeds. See, that's leverage. You think about that. You go take $100. You take a 1,000. See, watch me say, well, I think it's unfair that you got a package from $200 to like 11,000. Yeah. Well, the more seeds you plant, the higher your return gonna be. I mean, if you go plant 100 seed and I go plant 10,000 seed, I'm about to bear more fruit. Okay? But I can plant the $10,000 seed because I've been planting seed long before you got started. Don't hate. Get started. Don't envy. Get started. And start where you are. That's the beauty of networking. Get started where you are. Plant that seed. When you buy books for your team, that's a seed. You're planting a seed. When you go out and where's my magazine? Lord have mercy, where's my magazine? Nope. That's my other magazine. Hey, that's a seed. Why is that a seed? Because I bought this seed. I invested it $10, $12, $30, whatever it costs. I don't know. Why? Because there's stuff in here that's going to do what? Plant a seed in my mind so I can share that seed with you. I'm planting a seed. Okay? When I take this magazine, you see that right there? My card on the magazine. If I meet the right prospect, the right person, the right business partner, I give them this. People say, man, well, you're in a position. No. I did that when I was broke. I was planting those kind of seeds when I didn't have the money. Okay? So why are we doing that? I was planting a seed. Every time you share this business with somebody, you planted a seed. Every time you drive somebody to the presentation, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever training session, the main event tomorrow night, you're planting a seed in that person's brain. And the seed, what I said earlier, Robert Schuller said it, not me. Anyone can count the seeds in an apple. Only God can add apples and seed. You don't know what that seed is going to do. It's the same thing with your money, with that dollar. When you plant that seed, we don't know what the seed going to do. You plant it. When you take $1,000 and put it in G999, boy, I tell you what, we don't know what that seed can do, but it has the potential to create greatness in your life. When you share this business with somebody, you don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to respond, and you don't know when they're going to respond. But that's what a seed is all about. A seed has to be put in the ground. When you plant the words, it's put in somebody's mind. When you plant the dollar in the Bitcoin, in the Ethereum, in the G999, in the XLT, you planted a seed. Okay? I hope everybody follow what I'm saying. Let's talk about the planting the seed on your team. When you go out and sponsor 30, 40, 50 people, let me tell you guys something. I want this on record. I want this on video. Good evening, Mr. Ontario Smalls. Ontario Smalls planting seeds. Katie Armstrong planting seeds. I want you guys to hear this. Okay? Let me use Tanisha Glaspie, Brother Eric Trey Muhammad. Someone else I talked to today got over 100 people sponsored in the program. Oh, Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike up in New Jersey. Okay? Now, you talking about planting seeds. Now, they got all those people you personally enroll, that's a seed. And scripture says if one can put 1,000 flight, two can put 10,000. Watch this. I'm telling you guys, watch this. In the next 2-3 years, you're going to be saying, where did this guy, Dr. Mike, come from? Where did this brother Eric Trey? Now, Eric Trey is out front right now. He's rolling right now because he done made X number of dollars. I don't want to tell his income, but it's crazy. He's in the top 1%, 2% income bracket in America right now. Only been in the industry 3 years as of September. Just smoked the thing. Why? It's just a decision. It's just a decision. Okay? Dr. Mike, smoked 100 things. Tanisha Glass. Now, here's what. Those 100 plus people, Tanisha got, I'm telling her business, over 300 people sponsored. Eric Trey got over 400 people sponsored. Dr. Mike got over 100 people sponsored. That's 100 seeds. Now, watch this. Now, here's what I've been telling both of them, all of them. You got to nourish that seed. See, you can plant 100 seeds. Now, you can let nature take care of it, which is, how did nature take care of the seeds on your team? The television, that's nature taking care of your seed. Sometimes nature's good. Sometimes nature's negative. Okay? They can go on the internet, find some good stuff. Go on the internet, find some negative stuff. But you got to nurture that seed. So how do you nurture that seed? Hey, man, you got to get this crypto magazine. That's nurturing the seed. Hey, man, you got to get on this call by Mr. John Johnson. That's nurturing that seed. That's watering that seed. That's cultivating the seed. That's putting fertilizer on that seed. You never stop fertilizing, nurturing, feeding that seed. I'm talking about the seed now. When you share this with somebody else, your business partners, those are seeds. And then you give those seeds time to grow. And that's great when you sponsor somebody who just take off, a network who get it. But most of those seeds that those 3 people I'm talking about planting, they're neophytes. They are learning the business. But as long as you keep nurturing them, those seeds are going to start to grow. And in time, it could be 12 months, 24 months, but 3 years, sometime in the next 3 to 5 years, all of a sudden, like right now, some of them going to have 30, 40, 50 legs growing, exploding. And people say, how did they get those legs doing all that? Because they kept nurturing those seeds and growing those seeds. Okay? So you got to, not only do you got to plant the seed, you got to feed the seed. Now, when the money, all you do is plant the money. Plant the money in G999. You got no control. You just take that seed money, don't eat it. Plant it in G999. Plant it in Bitcoin. Plant it in Ethereum, and Marketplace take care of that. Don't worry about that. But now we're talking about your team members. You have to nourish that seed. You have to, hey, man, you guys need to be downloading Ty Best's book, The Dream Chaser Manifesto. Okay, why? Because it's all about the mindset. It's one of the simplest, easiest books to help switch a person from thinking like an employee to thinking like a entrepreneur and guarding that dream. Because there's one overwhelming message in this book. It's protect your dream. You want to be free? It's not easy. You got to fight for it. You want to be an entertainer? You got to fight for it. You want to be free to do what you want to do with your life? You got to fight for it. The universe not going to give it to you. Society's not going to give it to you. And your family and friends not going to cheer you on. So don't be surprised when they don't. That's what the book prepares them to do. See, the blows don't hurt so much when you read and say, oh, my God. You mean Tyrone's friends didn't get in either? You mean Tanisha Glaspie's friends didn't get in either? I mean, Mike Delco's friends other than Jason Pompey didn't get in either. See, Jason Pompey is a true friend. He signed up with Mike Delco. Okay? Some of you got true friends, but some of you found out who your friends are. People say, man, I'm scared to do that network marketing thing. I might lose all my friends. No, it might help identify who your friends are. So you stop wandering around in the dark. Some people don't know who their friends are till they dead and gone. And they don't show up at the funeral, but that's another seminar. Yeah, I'm hardcore tonight. Friday, Saturday night. This message is not for everybody. Don't send it to your whole team. Okay? That's where I am right now. I'm either blowing them in or blowing them out. Stop eating your seed. Energy seed, time is seed. And the number one seed you have here, in my opinion, in this program we're in. So I've never been in a program where you don't have to recruit anybody. You don't have to invest a lot of time to become a multi-millionaire. But you got to take that seed, those dollar seeds, and put those dollar seeds to work for you. When I heard that, for some reason, it finally jailed in my mind. Put those dollar bills to work. Man, when you think about put that money in DeFi, I mean, Mike Johnson got me, finally convinced me, said, man, you got to put that money, you got to put them dollars to work. Man, if you're getting 1.5%, man, get DeFi, get 3.5%. Wait a minute, you mean I can get up to 12% if I go legend? Man, boom, I'm a legend. My son's a legend. Let's get this done. I put them dollars, I want the max. Okay? I got them dollars working overtime, baby. I'm whipping them dollar bills. I'm working them like Hebrew slaves. I'm working them. I'm working them jokers. I earn 300,000 plus coins every single month. Free. Them slaves working. Okay? And I cheer them on. I don't whoop, I cheer them on. Keep working. And when I get those, you know, I put them to work too. And put them to work too. Don't eat your seed. I told somebody, I said, hey man, somebody called me and said, you know, the coin, I think it was Mike Johnson called me and said, hey man, the coin went up to 0.8%, something like 0.8 of a penny. You made like 200,000, based on the coin you have, you made like $200,000. I shared it with somebody in my family. They said, so what you gonna buy? I said, buy seed, there you go. You trying to get me to eat my seed. I said, no, let that seed ride. But it might go backwards. It might, but also may go up. I'm not eating the seed. And this is why most people, after working 35 to 45 years, folks, end up broke. Because for 45 years, they've been eating the seed. What do? They buy a house. The house goes in value to go buy a bigger house. Every 3, 4, 5 years to go buy a new car. Every year they got to take a cruise. They consistently eating their seed. Okay, which if utilized properly, I don't care where you start. I don't care if you're at 10 grand a year in income, 20 grand a year in income. If you start to utilize that seed properly, that seed will free you. Vala made some tremendous sacrifices from 1983 to 1995 to get me free and to get her free. Life wasn't perfect in 1987. We quit our job. It wasn't like we had replaced everything, but it said, you know what? We'll make some changes. Like Miss Sharon Vick said, when she left her job, she said, man, she can't believe that their lifestyle hasn't changed at all. I said, I know. As I told Mr. Mike Johnson, I ain't got together with him. I said, people don't know how much it costs. People don't know. Okay, I'm going to take 5 more minutes, folks. I'm going to be done. How much it costs to go to work. He said, what do you mean it costs to go to work? So this kind of thinking, millionaire mindset stuff. It costs money to have a job. So, well, what do you mean it costs money to have a job? Well, okay, if you and the wife got a job, it costs, first you got to have 2 cars. You ain't got to have 2 cars if only one person got a job. So the second car is eliminated. That's car note gone. That's insurance gone. That's maintenance gone. That's gone. That's an expense gone. Okay, wait a minute. If you got a job, you either providing breakfast and lunch every day. Now you could take your lunch. You could take your lunch to work or eat some breakfast on the way to work. But I guarantee you, there's some expense involved in breakfast and lunch every day. Chance if you got a job, you come home, you're too tired. You're too tired to cook. In most cases. So you squeeze out $10 or $15, eat some McDonald's, something that's not even healthy for you, but you eat that on the way home, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, or some nonsense. Even Chick-fil-A probably be the healthiest of them all, and you go to Chick-fil-A for 2 and walk out there and still spend $25-$30. Do that 3-4 days a week. Just do it 2 days. That's $50. That's $200 a month. That's seed. Okay? Look at teaching. As she said, you spend $400 in gas a month going back and forth to work. See, we don't even think about that kind of stuff. How about young couples out there, got the kids, got their children in daycare? Okay, making $2,000 a month, spend $800 a month on daycare, bring home $1,200. Man, look, if you can't figure out how to make $1,200 from home, yes, you can. I'm gonna just make it positive. Yes, you can. Quit. You'll figure it out. Okay? But you can't figure it out if you stand on the side of that cliff like Steve Harvey scared, afraid to jump. Now, I'm not encouraging you to go quit your job. I'm saying think about it. Just think about what does it cost you to have a job? And you start realizing you don't need to make as much money as you thought. Look, you spent $1,200 a month in daycare, $400 a month on gas. That's $600 a month. You free, right? Man, please. See? So it's our thinking that has us in bondage. And what our thinking is also the thing that has us doing what? Eating our seed. The power is in what we do with our seed. And our seed is our energy, especially in our youth. It's our time, especially when we're young. Because when you're young, you think you got all the time in the world. And as we mature, it's in our money. It's what we do with our money. Okay? And I watch broke people eat their seed all the time. Buying clothes, buying stuff, going on cruise, going to movies, eating out. One time I was at a restaurant eating out, Val and I, and we looked up and we saw our employees at the same restaurant we were at. We said, one of us eating at the wrong place. One of us eating at the wrong place. That's the truth. If I'm eating at the same restaurant, one of my employees eating there, I said, one of us eating at the wrong place. That time I was employees. It's just like when I was buying my first Escalade. I'm in there buying that Escalade, and I was buying the same Escalade that Evander Holyfield was buying the same day. And I was saying to myself, one of us buying the wrong car, and I think it's me. Because I ain't have Evander Holyfield money. Now, I ain't got no, I kept saying to myself, I might need to reevaluate. It was too late, though. I bought it. Now, I had the cash flow. And let me explain one other thing to you guys, if you don't mind. See, this is the thing we got to understand. And I know people like Mr. Young, they understand. Entrepreneurs understand this. If you have an entrepreneur, you don't understand this. You've been an employee all your life, it's okay. But see, once we know better, we're supposed to do better. Cash flow does not mean you got money. Now, a lot of folk who've been broke all their life, as soon as they get some cash flow, they think they got money. So you look up, and all of a sudden, you used to making $2,000, $3,000 a month, or $4,000 a month, whatever. And all of a sudden, you start making $10,000 a month. You say, "Oh my God, I got it now." You think you rolling? No, you just got some cash flow. Because cash flow will stop just like that, and you'll be as broke as you were before you got the cash flow. Cash flow is just cash flow. It does not mean you got money. You got money when you have assets that will create that cash flow. I hope that making some sense. Okay? The biggest mistake is why so many people hit the lotto and get this money. And I know at least 5 people who've gotten settlements from insurance or the government or the military. I'm talking about $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 settlements, and all that money is gone in 1 year. Because the more money they've ever had, and they think they got that money be gone just like that. Okay? And most people, when they go to $5,000 a month, they start spending $5,000 a month. When they go to $10,000 a month, they start spending 10. And I understand because we've been delayed gratification for so long. We finally got the money. And when you walk to the car dealership, he said, "You making $10,000 a month? Hey man, take this Escalade, take this Yukon, go home." But you got to deny yourself that thing if you want to be free. Now, if you don't want to be free, if you just want the instant gratification of the moment, which will jeopardize your freedom, okay? Or, they may come pull the car out the driveway in 6 months to a year because your cash flow got cut off. Do what you got to do. And that's, some people live like that. Some people say, "Man, if I don't get it now, I'm never going to have it. I want the experience." Well, that's fine. But if you got a vision of your life for 2 years down the road, 5 years down the road, don't do that, people. Okay? Don't eat your seed. That's all I want to say. And then understand something. When you get into a business, if that business fails you or you fail that business, is only failure if you quit. If you keep going, it's a learning experience. Okay? My first 12 years in this industry, I should have quit every year. Now, not should have quit. When I say that, I mean based on what was going on, based on the statistics, based on the logic, based on the numbers. I said math don't lie. Well, math do lie. Because math is no indication of your future. Math is an indication of what's happening right now. That's the science of the business. That's what's happening right now. You said, man, I worked all morning. I put $100 in this thing. I made $9. That's the math. So the math told you the truth, but math didn't tell you the truth about your future. It told you the truth about right now. So you can't let the math dictate what you do in this business, because the math will keep you exactly where you are. If you let logic dictate what you do in this business, you may never get started. Because there's nothing logical right now about my business. There's nothing logical about I take a cell phone and create a $30 million a year business with a smartphone. I go to Wall Street and say, look, I got a $30 million business with a smartphone. They laugh me off Wall Street, man, kick me back home to Newport News. But it's still the truth. But the lies will be, say I got no employees. Now, okay, let me get this straight. You took a cell phone and $300 and you created a $30 million business. Yeah. Man, he lying. Get out. Look, we ain't got time to be wasting with you, man. You didn't borrow no money from the bank. No, I didn't. How you do it? Because it's invisible. They can't see it. It's going to be tougher than believe it. Even when you show people your back office. I got people, Mr. Delco will tell you, if he could be up here and tell you right now, he got people showing his back office and they still don't believe what's happening. Logic of the business. Logic don't move the thing. So what I'm trying to say, don't let logic dictate your future. Okay? Dictate some of your behavior, but don't let it dictate your future. Okay? So you didn't, the first year in the business, said I should have quit. My second year said the same thing, but fifth year said the same thing. The sixth year, all those first 12 years said, man, you dumping 30, 40 hours a week. You don't watch football no more. You never saw the NFL for 12 years. I never saw Barry Sanders run 1 yard. The man ran for, 12,000 yards or something? I never saw him, and I like football. I never saw the man run 1 yard until after I got free. Now, I ain't gonna lie, though. I watched the NBA playoffs. I watched the championship. See, so, everybody got their thing. That was mine. No matter what happened, I found time to squeeze in the NBA playoff. But I didn't squeeze in NFL, okay, National League Baseball, NBA, all 82 NBA basketball games and all the college basketball. No. Anyway, what's my point? Okay, that first 12 years, all the numbers, all the facts said, what are you doing? All the facts said you're wasting your time. All the facts said, but I remember Dexter Yeager, I hear him in my head said, but if the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. I said, the facts said I should quit. Yeah, but if the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. The facts said, why am I wasting my time? Yeah, but if the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. But I've been in 5 years, man. My whole team had already quit. They done quit on me for the second time. I said, yeah, but if the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. And all things are possible for those who believe. All things are possible for those who believe. And I kept believing all this stuff. All those mantras all around my house, I kept believing. Then in 1995, I got free. Ooh, boy. Whew. And then in 1996, that 14 month made money I made in the first 12 years combined. I said, oh my God. So what I'm telling you, if the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. Yeah, I appreciate your time. Dream big, dream bigger. And don't let anyone steal your dream. See you tomorrow night on what? The main event. We making this happen, folks. God bless. Let's go. GS Partners for Life. Let's go.